So that's Apollo 8 astronaut Bill Anders, and he's talking about the very first time any human ever saw our planet, our home, rising over the moon's horizon. And you know what? That one single view, it would change absolutely everything.
Yeah, that single observation. Today, we're going to dive into the story of that one photograph. It's called Earthrise, and we're going to unpack how this one picture completely changed how we see ourselves, our planet, and really, our place in the entire universe. All right, so to really get the power of this thing, we've got to go back. Let's travel back to the exact moment that shutter clicked. Okay, so I want you to picture this. It's Christmas Eve, 1968. You've got the crew of Apollo 8, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders, and they are farther away from home than anyone has ever been. And as their little spacecraft swings around from the dark side of the moon for the fourth time, bam, they see it, a sight no human eye had ever witnessed before. Now, what's interesting is the Apollo 8 color photo, the one we all recognize, it actually wasn't the very first picture of Earth from the moon. Nope. That honor goes to an unmanned probe, Lunar Orbiter I, which sent back this kind of grainy black and white shot 2 years earlier. But it was the color photo from Apollo 8, that vibrant, stunning image that really it captured everyone's imagination. And you have to understand, getting that first photo back in '66 was a mind-blowing technical achievement. I mean, remember, we're talking way before digital cameras. This wasn't some simple point and shoot. The Lunar Orbiter was basically a flying, fully automated photo lab. The process itself is just wild. So the orbiter up there would take the picture, right? Then it would develop the actual film while still in orbit. Then it scanned the negative, turned it into an electrical signal, and beamed that signal all the way back to Earth. I mean, come on, that's just an incredible feat of engineering.
But here's the thing. The Earthrise photo, it became so much more than just a cool piece of tech. Its real legacy, its real power, wasn't about the camera. It was about how it changed the way we saw everything.
Think about it. For the very first time, we as a species saw our planet not as, a bunch of countries on a map, but as this one shared and really, really fragile home, just floating there in the endless black of space. It just sparked this whole new feeling that we're all in this together. And that photo became this incredibly powerful symbol. In fact, a lot of people credit Earthrise with basically kickstarting the modern environmental movement. It's really no coincidence that the very first Earth Day happened just a couple of years later, in 1970. Suddenly, people had this powerful visual reason to say, hey, we gotta protect this place. And it's really interesting when you compare the feeling you get from Earthrise with that other famous space photo, the pale blue dot. See, Earthrise gives you this sense of awe, of connection, of how alive our planet is. But the pale blue dot, taken from way farther out, it makes you feel kind of small, maybe a little lonely, and definitely humble. It's a reminder of just how tiny we are in the grand scheme of things. So you have two photos, two super powerful, but totally different gut reactions. But there's this weird thing about photos from the moon. Even though they are 100% real, sometimes they just feel a little off, right? Have you ever had that feeling? You're looking at a picture of an astronaut on the moon, and some part of your brain is screaming, that looks like a movie set, or like some old school CGI. Well, there's actually a really good scientific reason why your brain does that. Okay, so it all comes down to this. Our brains are tuned for Earth. Here, we subconsciously use clues to figure things out. For example, atmospheric haze. You know how mountains in the distance look all fuzzy and blue? That tells our brain they're far away. But on the moon, there's no atmosphere, so a mountain miles away can look crystal clear, which just feels wrong. Then there's the light. With no air to scatter it, you get these super harsh, pitch black shadows, which our brain connects with like a single spotlight on a stage. And last, there's nothing to give you a sense of scale. Without trees or buildings, a giant mountain can look like a little hill right in front of you. This Reddit user just nailed it. It's a total disconnect in your head. Your eyes are seeing one thing, but your brain, based on a lifetime here on Earth, is saying, no way, that's not right. It's not fake, it's just truly profoundly alien. So, that one quick look back in 1968 had a huge impact on us, but it was just a glance. So, what if? What if we could have that view, but like, all the time? That question leads us to a really cool idea for the future. Scientists are talking about something called a Lunar Earth Observatory. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A telescope parked right on the moon's surface with just one job: to stare back at Earth constantly.
And the real genius of this idea is all about one thing: time. You see, a satellite whipping around in low Earth orbit gets, a few seconds to look at one spot as it flies over? But from the moon, this stable, steady platform, a telescope could just sit there and watch the same spot for hours and hours. Imagine tracking a hurricane as it forms in real time, without interruption.
The scientific potential is it's massive. We could have a non-stop live feed of our planet's vital signs. We could make our climate models way more accurate, track pollution as it happens, and even figure out how things like giant dust plumes from the Sahara could turn into hurricanes over in the Atlantic. It would be like giving planet Earth its first ever full-body health scan.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Earthrise was this one single, totally unplanned moment that changed how we think. It showed us our home in a way we'd never imagined. So it really makes you wonder, if one brief snapshot could have that much power, what could a constant, unwavering view inspire in all of us?